everyone, welcome to the second episode of NBC show New Credit in Romania and New Best Credit in Dubai. I have the pleasure to have a new host today. Welcome to Marius. How
Thank
do
you.
you feel today?
Well, exactly like we were discussing earlier, I feel great, I feel amazing, and it's about the mindset. It's not even about what you feel actually. If you have this mindset early morning, everything goes smoothly.
It's a pleasure to welcome you today. So, can you
A
tell
pleasure to be
us,
here.
thank you so much, where do you come from? Who are you? I just want you to introduce the main point of you.
Okay, so Marius Bogdan Peslariu, born in Romania. I lived for 7 years in Tokyo before that, and now since 2018 I live in Dubai. I run my own real estate brokerage agency in Dubai as a co-founder, and I have actually at this point the team with the largest number of Romanians in Dubai.
So, are you actually a real estate
Yes.
broker? What is the name of the company if you want to say it, or if you want to keep it personal? It's
The
up to you.
name the name of the brand is Couture Private Estates because what we are doing is actually offering the same level of services like private banking in real estate. And we also have a platform, one of the most innovative platforms on the market, propertydigest.a.
Are you focused in? Can you tell because the market is divided of two in Dubai, in secondary and off-plan. Can you tell us what are you doing? Is it on two? I have many questions to ask you today.
We'll take them one by one.
Yeah. Are you focused on off-plan or secondary?
Focused on off plan, and I'll justify why. Because basically, in off plan, we can have the highest leverage for our customers. In off plan, we can speak about return on equity. So we've even got for one of the customers, and this is just a case study, just one example that we have, 700% return on equity in 12 months. This means that basically the profitability on
When
the
you
money
say-
that he spent.
When you say return of equity, are you talking about the ROI or is something different for you?
It's on equity, not on investment. That's what I was clarifying. Actually, return on equity, it's the profitability on the money that he actually spent. Return on investment is the profitability on the total amount of money that he needs to pay during the years for that project.
Okay.
So when you have a proper payment plan, when you can even leverage and negotiate a little bit, you can bring high income, high profits for your customers, and this is what we are doing. We are offering consultancy, especially for investors and also end users, but mainly investors. You know what? Actually, every acquisition should be an investment. Unfortunately, in Dubai, it's not always the same because there are so many salespeople. I will not tell them agents, brokers, realtors, or so on, that they don't care about their customers. So this is where we interfere, and we are doing their job actually.
Okay, thank you so much for those questions. Are you focusing on only Romanian customers or all of them?
Less than 10% of our customers are Romanian actually. We have a very nice portfolio. Myself, during the years, I had like the president of Japan Tobacco International, the former regional of Accenture, a group of 14 billionaires, the author of the $1 Billion Secret book, and so many other influencers and top VIPs across the world.
That's amazing. So you have big investors, and I know that our people that you are watching us, they want a lot of advices related to. I know that this is a very nice area because now it's economically stable. And what kind of advices you can give to foreigners that they want to invest without being here? Because I know that it's easy for me to invest here, but how I can do it safely in terms of investment if I have to put a big amount, and how does it work? We will take it slowly.
Yeah, no problem. We take them one by one.
What kind of advice you can give to investors to invest?
You've
safely?
mentioned yourself that it's easy to do it even from abroad, and actually the authorities here that did an amazing job about regulating the market, making everything feel safe and secure for the investors. We actually had an interview with Forbes about that, about the impact of a regulated market.
Okay.
So basically, even if they are buying something that's off plan, like project, not even the groundwork started, because everything is settled properly, all the money that they are paying to the escrow account, which it means that they are protected if
Can
something.
you explain us what is the escrow account for foreigners, like big investors? What is it?
Sure. escrow account you can have in different situations, but the one that I was mentioning actually, it's an account for every single project, not for the developer.
It's a very important point.
For every single project, and all the money that the investors are putting in, all the installments, everything should go directly to that account.
Is it linked to the government?
Yes, and it's blocked by the government and it's controlled by the government. And actually, the byline department and real estate regulatory agency verifies on the spot of the construction how the progress was, the progress of the project, and slowly, it releases money from that escrow account to the developer. Now, in order to open an escrow account, the developer needs to own the plot, and they changed recently. They need to deposit into that account 30% of the value of the total value of the project. So they need enough cash in order to guarantee that they can deliver the project.
All
So
right.
even if something bad will happen, I don't know, with the owner.
What happened like 2 years ago with the related to rain and I lost my property, for example?
That one, it was about insurance actually.
Okay.
But even
It's
then,
something different. Okay.
even then, the authorities here stepped in and they actually made it like a mandatory service from the developers to renew the properties which they were affected. So I heard even stories about the cars that they actually the insurance company needed to pay for the destruction made on the cars, which usually on any insurance policy, if you are looking, you'll see that in case of big calamities, like what happened, in case of war and things like that, they don't have anything to do with it. But here, the authorities are, and the government and the rulers, they care about the people, so
Okay.
they
So
need
they
to
take
protect
care
them.
of the escrow account. And second things, I heard many hidden fees that we don't know. And I know that people that are looking for real estate and sometimes they are afraid because they go straight away to the developers because there is this hidden fees they don't know.
No, they just have the feeling that they'll get a better deal if they are reaching the developer, which is not the case. And I will tell you why. First of all, the amount that he will pay it will be exactly the same. Second of all, we know where and to which developers we can negotiate and where we can get him a better price
Sure.
and where we cannot. Then you need to make the difference between a consultant, someone that works with everything on the market and can show you, guide you, and show you what's the best thing for your specific purpose, and someone which is a sales agent and he has a target and he knows that product, his product, and he needs to push it. So this is the main difference. But
That's a very important point because there is a trust issues here, but I'm sure that Marius will advise you the best way how to target the best real estates and to trust them how to invest. Please keep going.
from this perspective, related to the last thing that you've mentioned, I still suggest them to go with a broker. And by the way, I think that something like 97 to 98% of all the deals on primary market, not on secondary, are done not direct to the developer, but through brokerage. Why? Because they work with all the developers, they know how to introduce, they are basically doing all the job of the developer and all the job representing the customer.
Sure.
Now, it's very important for an investor, for an end user, for a purchaser, for a buyer, to search for the right people to work with. They need to look for the same mindset, the same vision, values. Of course, it's like a marriage proposal, or maybe even sometimes
Commitment.
even more expensive
Trust.
than.
Yeah, true. Honesty,
yeah.
loyalty.
Exactly. They need to look
Yeah.
at the reviews, the knowledge on the market, and even if they don't, let's take for instance an example. Even if it's a fresh broker on the market, it's nothing bad about that. But if you want to continue to work with him, which it's okay, ask him to come with a senior, with someone that can help him to better deliver you the results that you are actually looking for. Then they should look actually for over promises, because I've seen so many deals on the market with over promises, with stories that they don't even make sense, which for me they are red flags. And you need to understand that. I understand that an investor might have some issues with that, but they need to do the checkup before that. Especially on markets, I will not give examples, but where there is not such a background on financial, on investment, education. Those people, they don't know how to put their money to work properly. So they really need to pay attention about choosing the right agent, company, developer, project, and unit in order to get the best results. However, the safe bet always on the market, it will be prime and ultra prime locations, and if it's possible, branded residences, because this one they give the best ROIs, best return on equity, and also the fastest, the best velocity on resale and the highest appreciation.
Thank you so much
A pleasure.
for these advices. I just wanted to ask you what make you make feel safe here and why do you choose Dubai?
Well, after 7 years in Tokyo, when I went back to Romania, I felt the difference because Tokyo is same and safe as Dubai, and I couldn't fit in back to Romania. So then I had this friend of mine. He was already living in Dubai, I think that for 6 years, and he was always telling me and pitching me, Marius, come to Dubai, come to Dubai. No, forget about it. I'm doing business in Japan. Marius, come to Dubai. No, I'm doing business in Romania. Then one day, disappointed about what was happening with the workforce, especially in Romania, I called him, listen, I want to come. And he said, yeah, but it's useless to come now. It was just that crisis with Qatari and the market was down, and said it's useless, pointless to come now. Then I
What is
went.
the main points that he sell you to tell you like, hey, you have to come to Dubai?
I,
Habibi,
would-
become.
I was always telling him, listen, friend, I'm not a sales guy. I don't know how to sell. I don't like to push people. And he said, no, forget about it. Here is different. Things are working different. I said, okay. Uh, the funny fact and the thing that helped me, I told you from our discussion earlier that in Romania I had five businesses, another two businesses in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So all this business background and the frustration that I had with my employees back in Romania, I put it to work here, and I understood that selling it's actually offering the best services. And this actually helped me to connect with my customers, to connect with high net worth individuals, uh, to build a network around me and the team.
Have a strong network.
Yes,
Okay,
which took
perfect.
some time.
So, what kind of advices before we go to the next step related to financing, investment, and the best advices? What kind of advice and what kind of opportunities you can tell to people, to our people, to invest here? Why this is the best place to be?
Because it's actually,
Give me 4 main points.
you've mentioned about safety.
Safety, number one.
Yes, lifestyle, and
Lifestyle.
we are spoiled here, and we know that when we're traveling, we always have issues with the services and
True.
complaints and things like that. So once we
Something
are,
related to me. I'm talking about me. I come like you from an European country, and morning I can go to the beach, and at 11 I can be in a meeting, and at 5 I can be in a boat party, and night I can be in a restaurant. And something like this, it never happened to me in my life, and I had the opportunity to travel. So you can do whatever you want in the same day, and it's something absolutely amazing, and especially for women, because if you come alone from
and safe
Europe,
for all.
exactly, that's the main point that I wanted to mention as a woman, and I wanted to compare as a man also and invest part also business.
Related to what you mentioned about your changes in lifestyle during the day, there is also something else. I always say that in Dubai, once you exit your property, your apartment, your hotel, whatever you want, you can choose the lifestyle that you want to live. Because
True.
if you want to feel like you are living in Maldives, you go to District 1. If you want to feel like you are living in London, you go to Motor City inside the community.
That's
yeah?
absolutely amazing.
If you want beach, you have beach. If you want to feel like Tokyo or whatever other metropolis, you go to downtown. So basically, you have access to
And
anything.
if you want
that
to
have
wear
experienced.
Gandora and go cover, you can go to Bur Dubai and leave the old century, and maybe you can meet in Damak Hills too, couples
Yeah,
on the
sure, sure.
streets. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, this part with the lifestyle is one of the best things that you can experience. And like I've mentioned, we are spoiled with the services here. Um, then also the opportunity to make money. And also, I don't know so much
That's the
about,
big point. That's why people come
yeah,
here, related to taxes, I
I don't
think.
know if for jobs mandatory, but I think that most of them they are coming for business or actually to secure their wealth for
Okay.
the future generations.
Do you think it
Educators,
is safe for long term?
yes, because you know what? I'm an inventor. I've done over 300 projects during the years. And actually, the thing that I love the most about what's happening here is their vision, the leadership, the management, and that they're keeping their promises in terms of what they're doing. And I'm speaking here about the authorities, the government, the leadership
Sure.
of UAE. So I'm inspired about their vision. I'm motivated about the fact that I see, okay, it's not everything perfect, but it's the best place to be.
Sure.
I was just reading an article a few days back that Dubai, and asking about UAE in general, specific about Dubai, that achieved in 30 years what other normal countries achieved in 100 years. And it's just the beginning. Just look at Dubai 2040 project. Look at the 50 years vision launch in 2021. Look how things change after last year, after the floods that we had. Imagine that last year, after the floods, they launched the largest coastline reconstruction project in the world. They plant over
That's
100
absolutely.
million mangroves. I've been. Have you been to Medellin in Colombia?
Yeah. Of course.
Amazing. They planted. Pay attention to this. They planted in few years 800,000 trees and 2 million plants.
Wow.
They've managed to decrease the temperature of the city
How
with
they can
2
do
3
that?
degrees. They can look what it will happen here. 100 million mangroves.
That's
Then
absolutely
you'll have
stunning.
4 times more greenery until 2040. You'll have the metro line. You'll have the loop, the 91 kilometers loop that it will be covered with AC just for bicycles and walks. This this city is changing from one week to another.
That's true.
There's
We
a
have roads like literally after 3 months, new roads.
last year they launched in April the five bridges across Al Khair Street.
Okay, yes.
Normally, they're supposed to, the construction period should be about 18 months. In November last year, they already done. On Skim Street, they started at the end of last year to make that tunnel.
Okay.
I was traveling during the summer when I've seen in news that the tunnel is operational and functional. I don't think that there are any other places in the world where you can see something like that.
Another advice, you have to use always maps and ways.
Waze is better actually because it shows you the lane that you need to take.
That's true. Thank you so much. And related, we will come back to investment. How we can invest related to booking and related to payment plans. And can you tell us about the main developers in Dubai? Who are they? Who do you suggest? Can you trust them in long term? Just I want that our people can understand more about the market and how they can trust this market.
Okay, should I start with the developers or with the
Of
payment
course,
plan?
of course, as you want.
There
Maurice.
are different categories of developers. There are also government-owned developers. There are also
Which are
which are like Dubai Holding
okay.
that owns Nahil, Meras, Dubai Properties. There are also other government developers like Wasl that owns Jumeirah Golf Estates.
And do you
so,
think that those ones we can trust it more than the others?
because the market is highly regulated,
Okay.
I think that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Because
but
at the end you are covered. Now, what matters? It needs to be prime location, ultra prime location. It needs to be actually, if it's branded like I've mentioned before, it's even better because you have higher chances. Then you need to pick up the project to be the best project in the community. You need to pick up the unit to be the best unit in the project. So this is it's common sense for us. I mean, But then when you discuss about developers, there are different type of quality and of design that they are delivering. So it's
True.
according to every single one what are their preferences.
I trust that, but for example, when I'm new and I know that Imar is one of the biggest one because it's well known around the world, Burj
It's
Khalifa.
the largest developer in the world outside China.
Exactly, and some of them like Damak, Bin Ghati, Nakhil, they are very famous. But some of them that they come here, they have the license and everything, and people they buy, they put cash, maybe billions, and then they left.
You cannot. This happened in 2006, before actually the escrow account was put in place, was set up. But now it cannot happen. They cannot leave because if they live without money. So even if they leave, even if I don't know, the owner of the company dies or something like that, or he gets sick,
Okay,
what will happen? The land department will step in and
okay,
will allocate that project.
that's a very important
Yes,
point.
will allocate that project to someone else to
Okay,
finalize it according to the initial sales and purchase agreement with the same terms. Or if they are canceling the project, they are refunding the investors the entire amount. So
okay,
these things cannot happen anymore. Now, related to what you said, IMAR, private developers, there is also one category which most of the people they disregard, boutique developers. And I like them. You know why I like the boutique developers?
can you tell us what is it for people that don't know what is it?
They are smaller developers, which maybe they're at the beginning of their journey, or they don't have these huge communities like Damak, like Imar, or Nahil. But I will mention here a few of them that definitely you heard. You've heard about Ellington, you heard about Sele Group, and some other ones. These are the most notable ones.
Okay,
They're developing smaller communities, smaller projects. They are focusing more on delivering an exceptional quality because
Okay.
because they need to deliver more. This is their edge. This is their advantage on the market. So sometimes I suggest to my customers, depending on their appetite and what they want, these boutique developers because I know that they can deliver different standards. Now, there are also another example of developers like Omniat, which is the one that introduced actually on
I
the
love
market.
Omniat.
Yes, introduced actually on the market the concept of ultra luxury. Of course, you cannot compare the prices of Omniat with any of the other
Bin
ones.
Ghati or
You cannot. Now,
H&H, maybe.
maybe there are some and some, but depends at the end of what's the goal of the purchase, investment, end user.
Okay.
And how long do you want it? Yeah, because if you want it faster, you go for probably or a secondary market, or you go for something nearly to completion. It's hard to find ready units or almost ready units directly from the developer.
And related to the handover, like if for example, the main developers, if they don't deliver it on time, this developer will get fined.
You have 12 months, as per the law, they are allowed to have delays. After 12 months, some of them, they will come from their own side when they will pay compensation.
Okay.
Some of them you need to open a case in court and actually fight for your rights to get the compensation on it. Usually, for the boutique developers, it should not happen. Um, Maybe there are some larger one which they can have some delays from time to time. I've even seen buyers which they are worried about some developers or some project that everything is sold out, but they didn't start the work on the construction.
True.
But then when they
Lucky.
started the work, then when they started work on the construction, literally in 6 months they recovered everything. Actually, once they reached the ground level, after the excavation and everything, the pillars, the consolidation, the average rate of development it's 1 floor per week.
Wow.
After they reach 25th floor, they start to put the glass outside. When they have the glass outside, they start in the interiors. And basically when they finish the tower...
So they work
everything
24
comes back.
hours by 7.
Sometimes, yes.
That's
Sometimes.
impressive. Okay.
It happened the same during the lockdown. Basically, they work 24/7. in
Wow.
some of the
That's
developers.
why this country going
Now,
faster and faster.
we are discussing about the payment plans.
Of
So this was
course.
the other direction that you mentioned. Um, like I've suggested, if you want to have a leverage to make more money, you need a proper payment plan. And in some cases, we can even negotiate. We had, for instance, before 2020, payment plans with 75% post handover for 7 years. You don't see
Okay.
things like that on the market anymore.
That's true. But first of all, before we mention the 70/30, I want people to understand the concept of, because in Dubai there is a lot of payment plan
Structures.
exactly. And for that, explain us what is 50/50, 80/20 for
Sure.
people that doesn't know the Dubai market and UAE market. Can you explain
Sure.
us?
So basically, when we speak about a payment plan, we speak about an offer from the developer that he's giving you different installment plans during the years. Now, even if some of you might see ads with, I don't know, 10,000 euro, $10,000 booking, that's just the booking. Because as per the law, in order for the property to be registered on your name, you need to pay minimum 20% during the first 60 days and 4% DLD. Now, this is
Four
called the down
percent of
payment,
DLD includes like the price of the amount of the property.
the total value of the property mentioned on the agreement. On the contract.
Okay, thank you. But I heard about the name of the AOI. So what is
Okay.
this?
Let me finish with the payment plans, and we
Please.
discuss about AOI a little bit later. Yeah. So, please remind me that.
Of course.
Then this is called the down payment. Then you have installments up to, most of the developers they are giving up to the handover, up to the completion on the project. Then you can say you have 30% during construction, which is quite rare on the market. Most of them they are going 50% during construction, 60, 70, even 80%, 90% during construction, and the remaining amount on the other handover. Then, if there are some developers which they optimize their cash flow because this is the main thing, yeah, or maybe they contracted some credits and they are basically leveraging the credits and they allow their investors to have a payment plan after they receive the unit. So basically, you receive the key of the property, you can rent it, you can live in it, and you still have a few years after that payment plan in small installments.
That's good.
Going back to the express of interest, because I didn't forget about that. You mentioned, for instance, about EMR. I'll tell a story, and you judge by yourself. One of the largest collectors of Ferraris in Europe, my customer, he wanted to purchase in Dubai Creek Harbor. I believe that is still the best community in Dubai.
And the biggest tower in the world in the future.
By the way, have you noticed that they started to work on the mall?
Yes, I saw.
There are a lot of cranes there and digging and doing preparing.
This
everything.
area is absolutely amazing.
So, he wanted to purchase for himself a 3-bedroom unit. It was actually one of the first towers on the other side of the island, because on the island everything was sold out already.
Okay.
And when we discussed with Imar said, listen, there is no chance that he'll get an individual unit. I don't care who is the guy. And I asked why. Because we have the following approach and the following priorities. First priority, full floors buyers.
Okay.
Second priority, half floor buyers. Third priority, 2-3 units buyers, multiple deals. Last priority, individual buyers. And we had, this is what Imar said, we have the express of interest to sell the entire tower as full floor.
Whoa.
I discussed with my customer and I explained him the situation. I said, listen, Marius, okay, let's try at least to go for half floor. Everything was sold out at the launch, but we were lucky that some of those which they pre-booked or actually showed their express of interest, and we'll discuss this, at the pre-launch, didn't pay the amount in 24 hours. So basically we got a full floor on the market and we managed to purchase half floor. This is what's happening, and this is the moment when the express of interest comes in, yeah. Because basically you are showing that you are interested and you are putting some money into that because you need to offer a check, You need to transfer the money, and in some cases it can be a waiting list. So basically, it starts to take one by one the waiting list, and according to your number, you might get something or you might not.
And sometimes the developer can tell you that the expression, for example, if there is some cancellation,
Yes.
and they can push forward like for this AOI, because sometimes they tell you that this is just before the launch.
Yes.
They can push for it, like
Usually, this leverage is used before the launch. However, if everything was sold out, and if the customer is really interested in that specific project, you can get an express of interest from the customer. This means the form, the documents, and everything, and some money already transferred to the developer's account, to the escrow account, just to show that you are a serious buyer, that you are a serious customer. And whenever there is a cancellation, because it might happen in that project, you'll be on the waiting list. And
Okay.
again, according to the number that you have on the waiting list, you might get something or you might not.
okay, thank you. And for this AOI, is it included on this price? Is included?
It's
in the
deducted from the down payment.
Okay,
Everything
thank you.
is deducted.
So thank you so much for these advices. So now we will link related to secondary market and related to handover. So what kind of a flexible plan and related to mortgages? From when we can have a mortgage, who can have a mortgage, and just be straightforward related to mortgages.
So you can have a mortgage on secondary market at any point. And when I'm speaking about secondary, I'm speaking about ready units. Yeah. As an international without a local residency, I think that you can get something like up to 65% financed. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, 25 years long or until they reach the age of 65. Now, if it's on residency, you can get a mortgage up to 80% of the value of the property.
Residence, that it means you have Emirates ID and you
And you have income here.
and you have
income
incomes. You cannot work without income in UAE, by the way.
Then, if you are thinking about resales for primary market or even handover, you can have a mortgage once the developer built 50% of the tower and you paid already 50% of the property of the installments. Then you can apply for a mortgage for the remaining 50%. Or
Do you know the amount for the income that you said that people can have
for this one, they should, and this is my advice, I always advise my customers like this, they should discuss with the mortgage broker, because a mortgage broker does exactly this, doing all the calculation, they know from which bank they can get it and so on. So according to the amount and the salaries that they need to have, it's on the mortgage calculation to do separate, not from the real estate part.
Okay, but for example, an American client call me
Yes.
and he's not resident and he wants to invest here.
Yes.
Is it possible for him?
Of course.
How? Can
So-
you tell us?
Yes, it's if he has cash, at least 40 or in some cases 35% of the whole amount, then if we speak about secondary market, he can purchase something with the amount. Of course, we need to get him the approval for the mortgage for the difference of 60-65%. Yes. If it's
That's good.
off plan, is different because it's easier there and you have the installments.
And
So-
if something happened, like for example, he has the flexible payment plan, the handover can.
Yes.
How? Yes.
Now, depends. He can apply for a mortgage, like I've mentioned, even earlier, if the developer constructs
But if it
some of
happens, like my
If
question
it's
is,
at the handover,
yes.
of course he can extend, because if he does want to pay let's say that he has a payment plan like this, 30% during construction and 70% at the handover, and he says, listen, instead of paying 70% at the handover, let me make a mortgage on that, and I'll buy 2 more units with the 70% with another payment plan of 30%, 70% at the handover. So it's easy to do.
That's amazing, and this is a good opportunity for all the investors. So I imagine, is it like easy for all the nationalities in Dubai?
For most of them, yes, but again, this is the research that the mortgage broker should do because it's on their side of the story.
Who are your main? I mean, who are your main investors? They come all around the world. I can
all, all,
guess.
all, all around the world actually, but I think that the main market in Dubai currently it's Europeans. Even if you are looking at some tops and statistics, you see that you have India, Pakistan, UK is always in number three. You still have Russia and some other ones, but if you put the entire Europe except UK all together, definitely it's number one.
That's amazing. Good to know for our people that you are look. But of course, the top number three, of course, they're Asian, from Russian and Indians are all of us, all of them big investors
Yes,
also. So thank you so much for all
a
those
pleasure.
questions. I will end this story of NBC podcast for this second episode. Thank you so much for all the advices, Marius, and I hope to see you again very soon for other topics.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for people that watching us for this second episode. Stay tuned for the other ones, and it will be a pleasure to talk. And we are waiting for all the comments related to investment, finance, and all the questions that are related to UAE, and of course for investors. Hosted by Salma, of course. New credit in Romania and new best credit in Dubai.